think if Canelo was using the jab effectively, hard, the guy wouldn't have been able to come in because the guy was coming in because he wasn't worried about Canelo's jab. So he got more aggressive and he got brave. If you're not jabbing, he has no defense.
I really don't care how big Crawford is. If I'm Canelo, I feel disrespected. Coming up two weight classes, you haven't fought at 68. We don't know how your body's going to react.
He's got the heart. He's got the speed, the skills, and he's gonna go out there. I was thinking he put up a good first 6 rounds, but then Canelo will start picking it up. But now I think Crawford will go for the. I think Crawford will get. I'm picking Crawford to win now.
Mike Tyson expresses deep concern for Canelo's future, warning that a loss to Terence Crawford could be damaging. He points out that in previous fights, Canelo has not used his jab effectively, which often allowed opponents to gain confidence and close the gap. Tyson advises that Canelo must adjust his jab strategy this time, using it with more precision and consistency to control the fight and keep Crawford from gaining momentum.
He's not going to jab. The guy's going to walk right into him like he did. Next fight, use your jab, different fight. Oh, he was really basic.
Veteran boxing analyst Teddy Atlas acknowledges that Canelo Alvarez has faced a long list of top-tier opponents across multiple divisions, giving him one of the most extensive resumes in the sport. By contrast, Terence Crawford has not fought as many marquee names that the public often expects from a fighter of his caliber. However, Atlas stresses that true greatness is not always measured by the size of a resume, but by the quality of skill and adaptability a fighter demonstrates in the ring. In his view, Crawford's mastery of timing angles and ring control will allow him to overcome the physical advantages of Canelo. Atlas believes that Crawford's calm demeanor and ability to make adjustments mid-fight could prove decisive against a dangerous and experienced champion like Alvarez.
Maybe he's a little overrated.
Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez at 168 pounds.
Canelo's really good. Really good. But I think Crawford is special. I know he hasn't fought the resume everyone wants, but you have that or you don't have that ingredient. I think he has it. Canelo's really good. He's tremendous. But could he be a tiny bit overrated? The greatness is within Crawford. It's in his desire. It's in his mind. It's in his makeup, where he came from. I know he's moving up in weight class. Can he carry it? But those intangibles, I believe that he has them.
The stakes for Canelo Alvarez in this matchup extend beyond a simple win or loss. Terence Crawford is moving up 2 weight classes for this fight, which presents a unique challenge but also places pressure squarely on Canelo. A defeat under these circumstances would invite criticism, suggesting that Canelo could not overcome a naturally smaller opponent despite his size, strength, and experience advantages. Such an outcome would raise questions about his current standing in the sport and potentially damage his reputation as one of the best pound-for-pound fighters of his era. This is why the fight carries significant risk for Canelo, even before the first bell rings.
I really don't care how big Crawford is. If I'm Canelo, I feel disrespected. Coming up 2 weight classes, you haven't fought at 68. We don't know how your body's going to react. And you just think, you just going to come up and beat me. We seen it with Charlo, his videos, how he was looking, moving around the ring. And everybody thought, that might work. And we saw what happened come fight night. Crawford is a skillful guy, but who has he really beaten? Spence. After Spence, now all of a sudden he can jump up 2 weight classes and beat Canelo. I don't see it. If I'm Canelo, I would have to make a statement with Crawford. Canelo cannot lose this fight. He shouldn't lose this fight.
David Benavidez speaks with confidence when he describes Terence Crawford's place among the elite. He views Crawford as a fighter operating at a different level of technical skill and mental sharpness compared to most boxers in the sport today. Benavidez praises Crawford's ability to seamlessly switch stances, maintain composure under pressure, and dictate the pace of a fight regardless of his opponent's style. He believes this combination of poise and technical precision is what makes Crawford such a difficult puzzle to solve in the ring. For Benavidez, Crawford's edge lies not just in his physical ability but also in his fight IQ, which allows him to break down even the most seasoned fighters over time.
Terence Crawford, does he have an opportunity to beat Canelo?
I think if anybody has a chance to beat Canelo, I think it's Terence Crawford. His IQ is on another level. He's a great fighter and he's strong. It's just that it's a lot of weight. I wouldn't be surprised if Terence Crawford wins. Wouldn't be surprised if he loses. Terence Crawford, when he went up against the best opposition, like Errol Spence, he showed what level he's on, what type of dog he is. I don't know. You really have to let these fights play out to see what happens. He might get hurt. That's
might activate him to come back strong.
Could you still make 68?
I don't want to make 68.
No, I know you don't. Terrence wins 68.
Yeah, well, if that's, yeah, I can make 168.
Jeff Mayweather highlights the exceptional technical skill that has defined Terence Crawford's career, pointing out his ability to read opponents and adjust his game plan with surgical precision. While he gives Crawford the edge in pure boxing craft, Mayweather is quick to remind fans and analysts that Canelo Alvarez's power and experience cannot be overlooked. Canelo has proven time and again that he can change the course of a fight with a single, well-placed punch, and has navigated high-pressure bouts against some of the sport's biggest names. Jeff warns that underestimating Canelo's ability to adapt and capitalize on openings would be a serious mistake for Crawford or any fighter who steps in the ring with him.
It's kind of tough, but if anybody can do it, I think it would be Terence Crawford. I mean, skill-wise, I think he's a better fighter than Canelo, but Canelo is also a great fighter but he owns that weight class that he's in. So I would just say that I think that Crawford has to fight almost a perfect fight to win.
Max Kellerman's technical analysis focuses heavily on the jab as a key factor in this fight. He notes that Crawford's jab is among the most efficient and accurate in modern boxing, enabling him to control range, set up combinations, and disrupt his opponent's rhythm. This ability to dictate pace through a well-timed jab has been central to Crawford's success. Kellerman contrasts this with Canelo Alvarez, whose jab earlier in his career was a weapon capable of neutralizing aggressive fighters. In recent years, however, Canelo's jab has appeared less consistent and less frequent in his approach, which could leave him vulnerable to Crawford's disciplined use of the lead hand.
I'll give you a list of attributes, and then tell me who do you feel is best in that attribute. First attribute, best jab.
Crawford.
Best defense.
Crawford. Nowadays, Crawford. I would say early in the fight, Canelo. And earlier in his career, Canelo. But he hasn't been that kind of fighter in recent years. Although Crawford is also hittable. With any fighter, when you talk about their defense, the question is not, can they be hit with a shot? You take punches. Everyone, the greatest defensive fighters ever get hit. Pernell Whitaker, Willie Pep, Floyd Mayweather, they all get hit. The question is, can you hit them with combinations? And both guys are hard to hit. With the two-piece, hard to hit.
So who has the best footwork out of the two?
In terms of cutting off the ring, last fight notwithstanding, Canelo has gotten much better at cutting off the ring.
Gary Antoine Russell points out the cultural and stylistic differences that often define boxing matchups. He notes that Canelo Alvarez embodies the traditional Mexican fighting style, which blends calculated pressure with powerful body shots and counterpunching. In contrast, Russell says Terence Crawford brings the rhythm, fluidity, and defensive awareness often associated with the styles developed by African-American fighters. This stylistic clash creates an intriguing dynamic, as each fighter will attempt to impose his own rhythm while neutralizing the strengths of the other.
Canelo, he has mastered his style. Now, typically, Latinos, they got their own style versus melanated black people having like more rhythm, more flashiness and panache to their stuff, more swag.
Yeah.
We just fight different than other ethnicities. If you want to throw Amir Khan in there, his ethnicity, he was in and out.
Yeah, that's the European kind of stuff.
Textbook, you know, but that was his style. Canelo got his style and he mastered it. Terence Crawford cannot take nothing away from him. He's like freakishly good, you know. He go both sides, southpaw, orthodox, you know, and I feel like he adapt well. But it don't take much to get hit, especially these little 8-ounce gloves. He cannot slip up. He cannot slip up. He gonna have to stay set from bing to bing from round 1 to 12, and he better be in shape.
Yeah.
I'm talking about like not 12-round shape. I'm talking about like 16-round shape.
Trainer Robert Garcia has made it clear that he supports Terence Crawford in this high-profile matchup. Garcia admires Crawford's work ethic, discipline, and dedication to mastering the fundamentals of boxing. He says that seeing Crawford succeed at the highest level is a positive development for the sport, as it showcases the value of technical mastery and ring intelligence. While Garcia respects Canelo Alvarez and his accomplishments, he is personally rooting for Crawford to emerge victorious.
I love Crawford. He knows that. I've seen him. I've talked to him many times, and I wish him the best. I'm actually very happy for him and Bomac for everything they've done and the big fight that they're getting. In this sport, making it to those fights and making it to those paydays, you got to be happy for anybody that makes it there. So Bomac knows, Crawford knows. Now I'm actually, after Canelo's performance, I'm actually leaning towards Crawford to win this fight.
Why is that? What changed?
Because I know Crawford's he's got the heart, he's got the speed, the skills, and he's gonna go out there. I was thinking he put up a good first 6 rounds, but then Canelo will start picking it up. But now I think Crawford will go for I think Crawford will get. I'm picking Crawford to win now.
Omari Jones believes that Crawford's approach to preparing for this bout is a model of professionalism. Rather than bulking up quickly and risking a loss of speed and stamina, Crawford has strategically added weight through a targeted program of nutrition and conditioning. This allows him to keep the agility that makes his style so effective, while also building the durability needed to face a naturally larger fighter like Canelo. Jones views this preparation as giving Crawford the best possible chance of winning, while minimizing the physical disadvantages that come with moving up in weight.
And like me personally meeting Crawford several times, it's like the man is just so competitive. It's like I don't even have to say nothing to him. He'll just like, man, when we sparring, it's like his competitiveness is always gonna put him over the edge, and then he just has that like, I'm not gonna let you bully me, or his skill set. And it, I know they talk about Charlo when Charlo moved up, but I feel like it may be a little bit different for Canelo this time around, because Crawford took the moving up in weight classes serious. He did the dieting, he did the training. So I feel like when you put in work like that, it's a win-win. So
So you don't think Crawford, gaining that weight, because I saw him, he's pretty big. You don't
yes.
think that's going to be a disadvantage for him in this fight?
No, it looked like he put it on the right way. Um, the nutrition, the like I said, the training. Crawford, he trains hard. So I feel like, I know they say he probably went up to like 185, so he has to lose that weight. But I think if he did it the right way, which I know he did, he'll be successful in September.
And I know you, like we discussed earlier, we talked with your pro debut, and now you're 3-0. Your last fight, July 19th against Blanco, and it was actually your 3rd win by knockout.
Yes.
I'm super proud of you. How are you feeling about your pro career so far?
I'm feeling great about my pro career. I definitely feel like it's off to a great start.
Paulie Malignaggi adds to the discussion by praising Crawford's ability to find the right balance in his physical preparation. He observes that Crawford has gained the muscle mass necessary to handle Canelo's power, without sacrificing the quickness that allows him to land counters and escape pressure. Malignaggi attributes this to Crawford's disciplined training camp and his attention to every detail, from diet to sparring strategy. This preparation could be a deciding factor in whether Crawford can successfully impose his style against Canelo.
Wait, what's your thought about that?
Yeah, I mean, well, Roy Jones is Roy Jones, but also Terence Crawford is Terence Crawford. But John Ruiz is not Canelo Alvarez. So that's another aspect of that comparison. And yes, exactly what the champ said, exactly what Abel Sanchez said, you're going to put on weight, you're going to be a different fighter. And I can say this, even as a fighter as myself, as I've gotten heavier in my retirement, I try and move around the gym, it just feels different. And even when you start camp, you feel different in the beginning than you do at the end. But listen, we're still 4 or 5 weeks away. I don't know exactly what Terence is weighing right now. And even if he does say what he weighs, man, he's gone out there and said he's weighed, all types of crazy numbers just to get media to respond. So it's really not really going to know until the fight and we see these guys next to each other. He might look bigger right now, but he might not be that heavy. He might still be in the range that these guys are targeting for the fight itself.
Stephen Breadman Edwards focuses on Crawford's mastery of movement as the foundation of his success. He explains that Crawford's ability to manage distance forces opponents into uncomfortable positions, making them miss and leaving them vulnerable to counters. This skill, combined with elite conditioning, allows Crawford to maintain a high pace without tiring across 12 rounds. Edwards believes that this movement will be crucial in neutralizing Canelo's pressure and preventing him from trapping Crawford against the ropes. He also points out that Crawford's mental resilience ensures that he stays composed even when under heavy fire.
He slips. He's really good. But Crawford is just so clutch. His conditioning is so good. They're going to be about similar heights. Crawford's a little taller. He's longer. And I think that Crawford's adjustments in fights are so underrated. He is a master adjuster. He finds something in every fight and just goes with it. That last fight, people talk about he struggled. You know what he found that last fight? A simple jab. He just started beating the guy up with a jab. He finds something in every fight. And he don't fight a lazy fight. Canelo, for as good as he is, he hasn't stopped anybody since 2021. That's 4 years. You know why? Because he gets a little tired and he gets like a little bit complacent. He's a power puncher. Anybody that punched that hard don't want to go 4 years without a stoppage. He haven't got a stoppage because he don't have the conditioning and the stamina to push a guy over the edge after he hurt him or after, when the guy's running away from him to still be able to go get him. He don't want to go the distance in all these fights. You think he wants to go the distance with Jamel Charlo and John Ryder and Edgar Berlanga and Triple G at 68? He don't want to, but he don't have that extra gear anymore, in my opinion, to get guys out of there.
Canelo Alvarez's recent performance against William Skull has sparked concern among analysts and fans alike. His output was lower than usual, and his movements lacked the urgency and precision that had been hallmarks of his prime years. Instead of pressing the action, Canelo often reacted to Skull's offense, allowing his opponent to work more comfortably than expected. This hesitance raised questions about whether Canelo still has the stamina and sharpness to control elite opponents over 12 rounds. Critics worry that if these issues persist, they could be exploited by a fighter as versatile as Crawford.
And after really the Triple G fight is when we've seen the slippage on Canelo. And over the last 2 years, it's been immediately apparent. It's been apparent straight away over the last 2 years. Canelo's feet have always been slow. He's always been very slow-footed. So when people are saying, oh, it looks like his legs are slowing down, yeah, they are. They've never been quick, but now they're even slower, which is a problem. And Jim Lampley on commentary on Friday night show was saying that one of Canelo's biggest strengths is his legs. It generates power and it helps with his punch resistance. Well, those legs are sliding and that power is diminishing. Canelo hasn't had a stoppage win now since he knocked out Caleb Plant in 2021. And yeah, he's dropped some of these guys, but he's not been able to step on the gas and finish them. He's not been able to go through the gears. His gas tank, you can put that into question as well. And Canelo Alvarez, come July, be 35 years old. So he is, look, Canelo's been around so long and his real prime was in his mid-20s. So we associate Canelo, mid-20s to early 30s. So we kind of associate Canelo with that. I don't want to say ever young, but, he is still young, just not in boxing senses. But he's been around so long, 20 years a pro, and he's been at world levels for probably 15 of those. You're going to expect some slippage. And I think in this fight, an opponent, it was very negative, yes, but an opponent who Canelo Alvarez of 5 years ago would have handled, and he did handle him, but you know what I mean? He probably would have put some damage on William Skull. He didn't do anything.
Sean Porter and other analysts believe that for Crawford to win, he must rely on a game plan centered around distance control and strategic angles. By constantly changing positioning and forcing Canelo to reset, Crawford can blunt his opponent's forward momentum. Over time, this could wear Canelo down both physically and mentally. Porter emphasizes that mental discipline will be just as important as physical ability in this fight. The fighter who remains composed, focused, and consistent with their strategy from the opening bell to the final round is likely to emerge victorious.
And so I haven't seen that Terence Crawford against Canelo in these two press conferences. They're having dinner. They have the presser in Riyadh. They have the presser in New York. That's a weak-ass push by Canelo. And, that is not Canelo. What he did with Caleb Plant, that was real. He slipped him and then slapped him. And that was like, okay. This felt like, hey, social media saying you guys are being too friendly. We're paying you all this money. We're putting the knockout bonus there. Come on, we got a fight to sell. Let's heat this up a little bit. Obviously, they're both great fighters, and they're both coming to win. But I don't want to get too deep into it today, but my thoughts on this, the big picture, like what's looming, the fight to me, because I'm the journalist, right, is an afterthought.